You hear me?
Yep.
Hello and welcome to the penultimate IFSC Boulder World Cup of 2016. I'm Charlie Bosco, alongside me is IFSC route setter Chris Danielson, and we are coming to you live from Vail in Colorado. Home to 5,300 people and sitting at 8,150 feet, or 2,500 metres for Europeans, Vail is famous for its skiing, hiking, mountain biking and rafting. But for one weekend per year, the GoPro Mountain Games comes to town and takes over the entire village. Obviously our focus though is the rock climbing, the bouldering. And Chris, you've been setting the routes here today. I think most people understand when you go to altitude, if you try to do cardiovascular exercise, you walk uphill or you run, it's harder. Why is bouldering harder at altitude?
Well, I mean, we're at a little over 7,000 feet, and every time we do this event, we see the athletes feel it. The additional aspect of the fact that the wall is fairly steep, it just hits the athletes fast, and especially if they haven't acclimatized only a couple days before, it can be rough.
Do you think that it affects individual tries, or is it cumulative when you've been climbing lots of attempts on lots of different boulders? Or do you think it actually affects individual attempts?
I think it's both, actually.
Right.
You know, especially with the wall in Vail being a little taller than some other competitions, and the fact that it's steeper, it can add up just in 3 or 4 moves, so it can be a lot.
Yeah, we can see the wall there. It is slightly higher. The camera you can see at the top of your screen there, bolted to the wall. We put that up a couple of days ago, and I got vertigo, to be honest. It's pretty high.
Yeah, and it builds on the athletes, I think, after the qualification, a long day, and the heat as well. It's not just the altitude, but the heat. You know, you can feel it pretty quickly, and even just when warming up, I think after the first problem, yeah, they can feel it.
It'll be an interesting element, actually, because one thing about the weather here is that you cannot predict it. We've had everything from overwhelming heat to raindrops the size of golf balls.
Every year in Vail, it's just a question mark during the week of route setting. This year was actually really good. We had good weather, pretty much like the competition weather every day, except 2 days ago, it just downpoured. You know, the rain was coming really hard. And when they were building the wall, it was hailing a week and a half ago. So you just never know in Vail.
All adds to the excitement. So a lot of this week has been taken up with permutations about what Shauna Coxey needs to do to win. The maths, I can assure you, is extremely complicated. One thing we do know, if she makes the podium today, she wins the overall World Cup champion. Beyond that, it's far too complicated and there's far too many outcomes. So we'll stick with that. There's still a long way to go before the podiums. And here's our first climber. So this is Dave Barons, Great Britain. The reason Dave is climbing on his own is that the female field has been reduced to 19 athletes today. Katja Zalvine injured herself, I think, dropping off boulder 5 yesterday. So she's not taking part in today's semi-finals, so Dave will climb on his own. Chris, men's 1, were you involved with setting this?
Yeah, all the setting is basically a matter of teamwork, so everybody has a little bit of impact in almost every boulder problem. And this one, it starts off the steepest profile for the guys, so we'll see what happens. It's got I think a pretty tricky jump, and then a kind of technical, hard sloper finish, and we'll see. Yeah, Dave is good at all styles, you know, particular well-rounded climber, so we'll see what he can do.
He's 33, Dave, makes him by far one of the oldest, certainly male competitors. So he's been around the block. So this jump to the bonus, you can see it beyond Dave. I have to say, it looks relatively straightforward. Even when you're underneath it, I was walking around this morning, but it's deceptive.
I think that's the hardest part about it. Once you feel it a couple times, I think it can become more accessible, but you can't tell from the camera angle, but when you're underneath it, you can't even see the hold you're going to. You're not very far from it, maybe you know, a little over a meter, but you can't see what you're targeting. So you have to, I think, try it a couple times even to feel what you might do.
So you suspect this boulder might not get many flashes, but it could see some tops?
I think that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So we see Dave here setting himself for the jump.
It's quite possible for some climbers the jump just may be hard, and others, if they're really technical and understand how to do it, you can pinch the higher hold like that. It's also possible to move into a shoulder move. So we'll see what happens.
So that higher hold above the bonus that we can see now on that second triangular volume, you think that's going to be fairly vital to stop the swing? Did anyone manage to do it when you were trying it without stopping the swing?
No one did it without stopping the swing, and I think I'm confident it's possible just to hold the first hold, but physically very hard. So, and you have to, the trick of it is you have to kind of go slow, and that's, it's not an intuitive thing to do when you're jumping. So it's a matter of balance and just kind of coordinating the body movement just right. And you have to understand how to move into the shoulder. It's compelling to want to jump up and grab the big pinch, but in fact the easier way I think is to turn the right hand and move into the shoulder.
And keep it there or then put it back on the bonus?
It depends. In forerunning, it was a little bit tricky. It was kind of like you hit the shoulder, you come back down, you go back up again, and you're just, you're not even sure if you're going to stay on. So we knew it could be a pretty hard move, and even a pretty hard move for the start of the round. But, a lot of guys are pretty good at this style, pretty good at jumping, and yeah, we'll just have to see what they can do.
We have a very strong men's field here, as we have all season. Could see Dave back in the semi-finals. You see his experience. He figured it out straight away, the move. Hasn't done it just yet, but he figured out that he needed to stop that swing even on his first attempt.
Yeah, and I think after his first or second try, he kind of motioned the shoulder, but he hasn't yet tried to pull into the shoulder. He's still trying to grab the right hand with the pinch.
Comes with some serious experience, Dave. 10 years on the World Cup circuit, albeit sporadic. He doesn't do every event. Third in the World Championships in 2009. He's got some game, as they say around here. Okay, 1 minute to go for Dave. Tried it without the right hand that time. This is the sort of move you would imagine the altitude will have an effect. Quite dynamic. Use quite a bit of oxygen on that jump.
It may, and in fact, we chose to put the problem first, knowing it would be hard, but also knowing that if you tried this type of move at the end of a round, or even just after one or two other problems, it would be really hard. And I think if Dave turns the right hand and hits the shoulder instead of trying to pinch, he would do it.
15 seconds. Don't think he's going to get this one, Dave Barons. No. Tough gig for Dave, out first on his own with a hard move. But we saw his experience in how quickly he figured it out, but he couldn't quite make it stick. I'll have one more look. So out now we have Sol Saar on the left, our first look at women's boulder 1, and Martin Stranick on men's boulder 1.
So for the women, it's a totally different feeling of the start. You start on the slab, and it's a bit slower. It's a slab, but it's actually quite physical. So it's a little interesting to figure out this first part. You have to press under this big black half moon shape, and it takes some time.
You see Martin Stranick on the right there. You suspect? No, I was about to say this could be a boulder that suits him. Do you think on that men's boulder 1, just quickly, that height will make it harder or easier? Because Martin is quite a tall guy.
I think we didn't do it, but I think it's possible to hold the left hand, so to just jump with one arm, and maybe the taller guys could try that at least, but it's, I think, really hard to do. And in fact, it may be a problem that favors, if anything, the shorter, lighter climber, just to move into the shoulders. Yeah, it can be hard. We'll see how he tries it this time.
He didn't get close on the first attempt, much better that time. He's trying to match. He's not trying the Dave Barons method. the route setter suggested method of going with the right hand to the next hole to stop the swing.
So soft, getting back onto the slab.
No, she's not been much joy so far. She had a good season so far, Solsa.
She has. She climbed really well yesterday too. She got high on one of the hardest boulders, the second problem in the qualification. It was a hard round for the women, and Solsa did really well just to make.
As we just saw Martin Stranick there, every attempt's a bit closer. But yeah, Solsa, she's made every semi-final so far and a final in Mumbai. So, very consistent. Worst finish so far was 18th. That was in Kazo, which you were also setting at.
Yeah, the second competition of the season, I was the chief route setter at that event, and that was really cool. I'd never been to Japan myself, and just a great team of route setters, fun competition. Here goes Martin again.
Now remember, speaking of Kazo and Martin Stranick, he missed isolation. Those of you who are watching the semi-final will remember that. Obviously got his timings right this time.
The hard part about this method is with the right foot still on the orange starting hold, it's hard to press the body up into that. So if Solsa can take her hand or her right foot up a little bit more, she might have a better chance.
And put it on top of that black starting volume?
That's right.
Yeah.
And
Martin,
Martin,
sorry, still lead with the left hand?
that's right. So I think she could do it just the way she tried, but it's just physically more difficult. Whereas if you have both feet up high, you can press a little bit harder into the first large volume. That allows you to stand up slower and pull over to the left.
Martin Stranick, he obviously likes the look of this, going for another go. You'd imagine he'll have time for yet another if he doesn't make it stick this time.
At 40 seconds left, he may just stick this single hand.
He's so close. I think if we added another minute to the clock, he'd have no trouble, but time is becoming a factor now.
30 seconds to go. It is crunch time. This is where you come in, crowd.
Makes it stick. Yes.
There it is.
So he's got the bonus.
15 seconds.
Up with the left hand. Really racing the clock now, Martin. Left hand looks solid. Okay, 5 seconds. No problem for Martin. Great start.
That's an impressive send too. Sticking the right pinch just like that. We never did it that way. We knew it was possible, but
He's been on excellent form this year, Martin. Second in the first event in Meiringen. Don't we miss the isolation in Kazo, but since then 19th and a 6th last week in last time out in Innsbruck. So in the 4 World Cups he's been in before today, both semi-finals and 2 finals. Sorry, all 4 semi-finals and 2 finals. So on good form. Out next got Daniel Woods, men's Boulder 1. We don't see him often. Boulder World Cups.
yeah, it's cool to see the 2 Americans.
Also have Margot Hayes on women's 1.
Daniel looked really good on that first attempt. And Margot made finals last year. She's really focusing on the lead this year, but still, of course, in really good bouldering shape.
We had a chat with Daniel yesterday. You can check that out on the IFSC Facebook page. Asked him about why we don't see more of him and why he liked Vail so much.
We also see Dave here starting on men's 2. It's the most physical problem, but it's also fairly straightforward in the style the men, I think, really like. So
Quite a lot of pinch strength required, certainly in the lower section, but Dave seeming not to have too much trouble. Here's Margot Hayes.
and Margot's got the beta with that higher right foot.
Yeah,
Just slipped off.
Here's Daniel. Plenty of videos online of him doing pretty spectacular dynos, and mainly on outdoor boulders, but this sort of move will be familiar to him. Trying it with out the right hand. It's mainly an outdoor boulderer, Daniel. Climbed 8C plus outdoor boulders. This is pretty handy. It'd be nice to see him at more World Cups, but
I think it depends on the season, but if I remember right, I think he's planning also to do Munich. I hope he does.
be good to see him. The most World Cups he's ever done in 1 year is 5. That was in 2011, but generally we just see him in Vail and possibly one other. Would be great to see him in Munich, because we see him, about to say stuck the dyno, not quite.
I think for the hard thing for a climber like Daniel is, and many of the competitors, to really focus at the time of year when it could be great for outdoor climbing, to focus on competitions. It can affect your ability in the other things. So it's just a matter of what you choose to do. And Daniel, I know, is training really hard before competition, and he can climb amazingly well on plastic too. So
it's worth remembering he has won the Vail World Cup. 2010 he won here. And he's
there it is.
Making a pretty good start to this one. Now from here, Martin Stranek looked in complete control. Will Daniel be the same?
The top is not nearly as hard as the jump, and you have good feet, good crimps, just a little off-balance position, so it's a matter of going from being quick and coordinated to just being slow and technical, and it's something we didn't imagine would be really hard, but just whether or not they can keep it together. Daniel has no problem.
That's what 9 ABS championships look like. Very experienced, top-level climber. One boulder, and he's topped it. Margot Hayes still out there on the left, and Dave Barron's of Great Britain on the right, men's boulder 2.
Dave going for the bonus here.
So there's potentially 2 ways of doing this, I believe. Is it the double dyno, how Dave did it? Or
That's
you
right.
Just go direct.
Oh, and Margot's got the bonus on the first.
So we haven't seen any. I was about to say we haven't seen any climbers on the top half of women's 1 just yet, and we still haven't. Still, Margot has the bonus as we watch the replay of Daniel Woods. Here's the jump. Just managed to hold that swing from there. Looked pretty solid. So that's the end of the round. Martin Stranek's back out, as is Solsar, and we also have Monika Recchi of Germany on the left, women's 1, and Sean McCall of Canada on men's 1. Had a funny season, Sean McCall. Certainly not his best year, but 3rd last time out in Minnsbrook. Seemed to find some form. Don't forget that the climbers are competing in reverse order, so Sean didn't make the finals by much, qualified 17th, sorry.
And on the other side, Monika Recchi, I think, has really come into form this season. She's been competing, I'm not sure for how long. I know I've seen her competing for some years, but she's climbing really strong this year. She is climbing very well. I was chatting to a good friend of hers in Innsbruck, and he said she just needed to believe in herself. Already been in 2 finals this year. Chongqing and Mumbai. She was 2nd in Mumbai. So she's a serious contender to make this final. So women's 2, we haven't had a look at that. We've got Solsar there now. Just talk us through this boulder. Yeah, so we go from kind of powerful slab climbing in the first problem to the second problem, just straight up crimps, crimps on a slightly overhanging face, and it's a little bit of balance, but they're good holds, and you just have to find the right body position. So saw the first attempt went up into the corner with a drop knee, and kind of when pulling out of the corner fell. That made us possible, but I think it's easier just to pull over on a left foot and try to hold it. Martin Stranik looking really good about to go for the bonus.
So he's trying that double dyno method as well.
Like the first problem, this bonus move on the second is, it looks somewhat straightforward, but it's kind of a matter of how you do it. You can just hold the first hold, or you can jump into both, and I think it's just a matter of preference for the climbers what they choose to do.
Sean McCall not quite sticking the dyno men's one just yet. As I say, comes in good form. Looked incredibly strong in Innsbruck, certainly in the lower rounds. I think after the semi-finals, most people fancied him to win in the final, ended up third.
And Monica's about to get the bonus here.
Here we see her. Whoever's microphone that is, he'll be getting some good sound. Hope he doesn't hit her with it. There we go. We see Martin, so close. You route setters are harsh. First two boulders for the men. Two big, hard dynos.
Yeah, the interesting thing about the round, and we try to play with this in different ways in different rounds. It starts really steep and it ends, for the men, it goes from steep to slab. So the next two problems are more on your feet, more with balance, and we'll see how it affects them.
So it looks like Sean's got the correct beater for that men's one, but he's not showing any signs of stopping the swing. He was almost resigned to coming off, it looked, on that attempt. There's Martin, strong climber. You see it there, lost his feet but stayed on.
Really close.
Is that Sean having a sneaky look at men's two? Did I catch him there?
I think Sosa is getting her high point here, whether she can get the bonus. There it is.
I haven't seen much of women's two. We can have a look now.
This move here is probably the most straightforward in the round. It's just pulling off a crimp with a good foot, but it's a long way, and then the last move, especially matching the finish, is quite hard.
Tantalizingly close from Solsar. Her partner, Jungwon Chon, he'll be out later. Qualified first, so he'll be the last climber out in this semi-final. As we
and
see,
Martin's got the bonus.
Martin has got the bonus. Lay away, go with the right hand here. Ooh. Close from Martin. That's clearly the way to do it, you think? Or are there multiple methods on this top section?
No, that's probably the best way, just getting the left foot up. He actually did the cross to the second or the last volume, probably the hardest way, just with the left foot. It's also possible to hang a toe hook on the bonus hold or hang a heel. But the hardest part, I think, and the move to the bonus is hard. The second to last move is also really hard.
So you just see him just at the back of your screen there, in front of that sponsor's banner. Stacey Weldon of Canada is out on women's one. And Alex Kazanov, he of the co-commentating, climbing for Israel in his first semi-final. You can see him there in the white t-shirt just pulling on to men's one. In the foreground, here's Dave Barrons, men's three. Now, one of the route setters, who I won't name, in case he's wrong, reckon that this is potentially the easiest of the men's boulders, number three, and it's difficult to speculate.
I think it's probably the most straightforward. It's crimps with a little pressing move at the top. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the most tops on this boulder. Stacey getting up again. Oh, Daniel already up high on the second men's.
As I say, Daniel Woods, he's won here in Vail. He's a serious contender. We don't see him climbing indoors much, but
this is certainly a problem that is suits his style, let's say. Pinches on an overhang.
You see in the there, men's one, Alex Kazanov. co-commentated twice, Chongqing, and last time in Innsbruck. And he was probably the happiest man in Vail yesterday when he made the semi-final. He's been close a few times. I know a lot of people have enjoyed his co-commentary. I'm sure they'll be cheering him on.
Margot doing well on the second women's here.
Yeah, so we haven't had a top on this just yet. Margot's only the second woman to attempt it. Got plenty of time left. Very calm and composed, just figuring out how to set herself.
I think this can work with the heel.
With the heel hook. Possibly going to put that left foot out wide. She is.
You have to get that right foot up.
I wonder if that was fatigue there. She looked very composed and then just lunged at the end.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes left. She should have a good chance on this.
We see her on the mat there. It's clearly taken a bit out of her. Daniel Woods on the right of the screen, not matching his high point on men's 2 just yet. Stacey Weldon, here she is. It's her first World Cup of 2016. She's been in World Cup semi-finals before. 12th in Chongqing in 2015. Has not made a final though. Is today the day? So she's got that right foot high. Alex Kazanov flying through the right hand side of your screen, giving it everything. Here's Dave Barron's men's 3. So this move to the bonus, we can see it above Dave on that triangular volume. We'll come back to that as we watch Daniel Woods. No tops so far on men's boulder 2.
So he got the hold without the bonus. Got bonus on the first try, I think, and now close to making the finish. If he sticks that hold, I think it's over. Still a minute left.
They'll have another go.
Margot's about to get back on the second women's.
So quite a good break there, Margot.
Oh, it looks like Daniel's going back to rest for the next. Yeah, as I say, this third men's, we think it could see the most tops, but doesn't mean it's easy. You have to like crimps and you have to find the right body position. You move out and take the right blue hold there and then jump up to the bonus.
Alex Kazanov, that men's 1 is going to frustrate just about every climber. They've all been extremely close to getting it. So let's have a look at Margot. 8 seconds to go.
She's got to go fast.
She's got to go very fast. Can't quite make it.
Stacey almost getting the bonus too.
So no tops so far in the women's event.
We had a really hard round of qualification for the women yesterday, and at least so far it looks like the semis could be hard for the women as well. But there's a lot of climbers to go, and especially the first 2 problems. We see people getting at least middle of the first problem and then up high in the second. So I'm sure they'll be topped. It's just a question of who and when.
So if you're wondering where Katja Zarvine is, she should be out on women's 1, and you're just joining us. She injured her knee yesterday on women's boulder 5, so she's not taking part in today's semi-final. So that was Vera Zylstra on women's 1, and Roland Rugens of Latvia, he's out on men's 1. As we saw Sean McColl, quite a spectacular fall there. Monica Retch is back out, women's 2.
In the corner on the right side, we can see Sosa, I think, just about to go for the bonus on the third. This is a really hard move. It may be the hardest move in the round.
The move to the bonus.
That's right. But it's impressive to even the start. It's not trivial. So for her to get up that high in the first go, she's got a chance. Roland Rudin is also a climber who's kind of come into form this year. I think he's made 2 finals.
Yes, 2 finals, 6th in Kazo, 4th in Innsbruck. He has found his form. Here's Monica. Just trying to figure out how to get that bonus. There we go. So you think that here you need to get your feet high, there's no point trying to lunge for this top hold?
After you take the left hand here, which, yeah, she had her right foot higher, and I think you want to keep the body lower until you take the left hand. Then the right foot goes up in the larger volume, and the top hold is actually quite good on the right hand side. The hard part is matching it.
Okay. So here's Sol Sars. This is our first good look at women's 3.
And Sean really close to sticking the bonus on men's 2.
So that move there you think could be the hardest move in the women's round?
It's a really hard move.
Roland Rugens, very close to men's 1. I think we're going to be saying that quite a few times about men's 1. Quick recap of the score. Daniel Woods and Martin Stranick, the only climbers who with tops so far. You can see the running order there.
Martin may go for the jump method here.
Yes, and made it look pretty easy. You'd have thought he might be. No.
Hard part here is to switch the right hand. The left foot is really slippery.
You think you want to lead with the right hand, that cross through and go with the right hand, or is that the...
No, that's the right beta. It's just a question
method
of whether or not you have the good friction on the left foot. And he's got a minute left. I think he can do it.
I think he can do it. As I say, he's been in excellent form, Martin. One minute to go.
1 minute to go. US Architects get started once again.
So here's Roland setting himself for men's 1. Didn't look too far off it last time.
I think he's the first to really try the shoulder there. And if he gets the right weight of the body in the throw, he could do that. Sean's up again on number 2.
Sean McCall. So he's going for the double dyno method, and he's very close to sticking it.
30 seconds to go. Martin Stranick looking to finish off what he started on number 3.
Here's Monica. Very precise boulder that. I was about to say time will become an issue. Certainly will now. No, not going to have another go. Roland here, 10 seconds to go. He does
One
make
last try on the jump.
He'll only get the bonus. He won't have time to top the boulder. No. Sierra Blair Coyle, women's 1. She was co-commentating in Innsbruck 3 weeks ago. Feels a long time ago. And Moritz Hans of Germany out. See him there, checking out men's 1. Alex Kazanov's back on men's 2. And Stacey Weldon on women's 2. There's Daniel Woods on the right of your screen, former winner here in 2010, men's 3.
You can either go up with the right hand, cut back here to the beginning problems, and we'll see Sierra and Moritz on their first tries. That looked like a good effort just to hold the bonus there.
Yeah, he made his first semi this year, Moritz Hans. It was about Mumbai.
Oh, Stacey's just getting the crimp. What you can't see about this left hold is it's just a really small ball on a dual text shape, so it's kind of a frustrating hold.
Right, the screen here goes Alex Kazanov launching up men's 2. Trying that move statically, and Looked like it could work. As I say, he was the happiest man in Vail last night. The drinks were on Alex. Non-alcoholic, of course, with the World Cup semi-final the next day, but he was a very happy man. There it is. Here's Margot, women's 3. So
Different method. It could be possible to go with the left hand, but I think really hard.
So what, is there a way to control that swing? We saw Margot lunge with that right hand though. Is there some way to stop yourself pivoting off the wall?
The main way is to be strong enough to just stick it, but there's really two things. You have to close the pinch on the left hand. Oh, Daniel, really close on the men's 3. You have to close the pinch on the left hand and ideally simultaneously swing the right foot over. So it's a coordinated jump on, a good hold you're going to, but it's a matter of the swing. So as I say, I think it's probably the hardest move in the round.
Morit's hands. Every climber's been close on that move. I don't think many have been that close and not managed it. 2 minutes to go. He's got time for a rest here. He doesn't need to rush.
Oh, Stacey Weldon up with the bonus.
Looking solid this time. So you think go with the left hand, then sort the right foot.
That's right. There's 3 different ways here. You can keep the left foot all the way low. I think the hard part is bringing the right foot up like that. You have to take the left hand first on the triangular volume.
From the 2 climbers we've seen so far, that would certainly seem to be the case now. Stacey looking like she's trying to decide. Did she take her scorecard
really
back then? Did we see Stacey take her scorecard back? I'm not sure.
She has a minute left. Just debating.
She's debating, yes.
Yeah, here we go. One more try, maybe.
I thought it was a bit premature to head off with a minute 20 left. Just confirming.
It's really cool to see Stacey in the final. She's been competing a long time for Canada and has a ton of experience.
It is good to see her back. First World Cup this year. Sierra Blair Coyle. It's great to have her in the commentary booth 3 weeks ago in Innsbruck. As you can see, she definitely won the competition of the suntans. I guess that's what living in Arizona does for you. And Moritz
sticks it.
Sticks a bonus. I don't think he'll have time to top unless he climbs at warp speed. He won't. But he will get the bonus.
Breaking. That's the hard part about this problem. As I say, the top of it isn't that hard. It's just a question of whether or not you can figure the jump out in time.
That's Baptiste Ometz on men's 1. Switzerland, and his compatriot Petra Klingler is out on women's 1. Vera Zylstra, she's back out, women's 2. We've also got Roland Rugens there on the right hand side of your screen, he's on men's 2. So let me just confirm, I'm pretty sure we haven't yet had a top in the women's.
No, that's right, and I was just going to say, if Petra can find the right beta, she's really strong in the shoulders and has a strong back. If she can get her feet up, I think she can work through this first section. But it's a matter of finding the position.
You think we could have our first female top?
We'll see. The top is actually not trivial. It goes from being a really hard physical pressing problem, but like I say, yeah, first attempt to bonus, that's really good.
Look very in control.
And also this part is physical, and then it becomes about balance. There we go.
Yeah, Petra looking super strong thus far.
Now you have 2 really bad crimps. You have to trust the right foot on the top of the volume.
So So Petra Klingler seemingly having very little trouble thus far with women's one, but as you've just heard, it's not over till it's over on this one.
This looks good though. Gotta
Does
go
look good.
slow and steady. And matching, just taking the finish hold is not easy, and it's also hard to match. But
Well,
that's a really good effort on the first try.
And this is our first good look at men's 4. We didn't really see Dave Barons on it. Martin Stranick.
Oh, we have a top.
We do have a top. Martin Stranick announcing himself.
That must put him in first.
Does. Provisional first. 2 tops for Martin. Sweet Baptiste, he's only 17. Already in World Cup semi-finals.
This is our first look at women's 4. Solsa, what you haven't seen is she did 2 tricky jumps to get to that point, and then it's a bit of a powerful finish.
Quite an interesting start, isn't it? You could face in or out.
That's right. You start really low to the ground.
You see
on
those
this
2 volumes
kind
in
of
front of her.
awkward-looking volumes with 2 large shapes on it, and she must have stuck the first jump in a couple tries and then moved right. We see Petra again on the first women's boulder.
Here's Sean McCall.
No problem. I'd be surprised if we don't see a top here from Sean.
There he is. Looking to make his second successive final, as to say, podium in Innsbruck. Happy man. One more to go. Here's Petra Klingler.
Quickly back up on the top of women's 1.
That lower section, which has stopped several strong climbers, Petra's been cruising through, but it's this last move that she slipped off last time.
Just have to trust the foot. That's the hard part. She's leaning over, but so much of the weight is still on the left side, so you have to really pull over the right foot. Solsa again on women's 4.
.45 seconds left of this round. Solsa, I think, quite fancies the chances here. She's, from what we've seen, made fairly light work of the lower section.
Annika Recchi about to try the bonus move.
That does look a hard move. No one's been close to that yet. And Petra Klingler is either off screen and going to climb very fast, or no, she's gone. We've just got a glimpse of her backstage there.
Solsa's got 17 seconds left to. Oh, she's got
It should be
the
enough.
penultimate hold.
So yeah, that penultimate hold, you grab it with the left and then you match with the right. Is that
That's
correct,
right.
Peter?
There's actually 2 holds underneath that volume, and you come into the right hand where she just slipped off. Really close.
We'll see it again. Goes to the left hand. Possibly a bit of fatigue kicking in there, slap that right foot. This is our first look at Jorg Verhoeven and Michaela Tracy. In the meantime, Daniel Woods is on men's 4, Alex Kazanov's on men's 3. Daniel Woods just take his time to set himself. So Jorg Verhoeven, extremely experienced. Can he figure out this jump? Looks like he's got the right method.
Sierra's also up pretty quick on women's 2 on the bonus.
Looking for her first final of 2016, Sierra. So, we think the best way is lead with the left hand, then move the right foot. Looks perilous.
Yeah. Maybe possible, but hard. Michaela up on the first women's boulder. It's a tricky boulder problem because it goes from being just quite physical and powerful to, as we saw with Petra, really about balance and sort of trusting your feet at the top. This looks promising for Michaela, though.
Does look promising. Michaela, she's been tantalizingly close to a final. 8th in Meiringen, 7th in Kazo, 10th in Chongqing, 17th in Innsbruck. Her 4 results so far. Is today the day she can finally make that final?
These last 2 crimps, as you can see from Michaela, just trying to decide what to do, they're just not as good as you want them to be.
There goes Michaela, completely different method. Is this a method you guys tried?
We never tried that, actually.
It looked quite promising, but I think the key then was how to move rightwards.
That's right, and maybe even how to match if you can get the right hand over.
So if you're just tuning in, we're live in Vail, Colorado in the western United States. Watching Michaela Tracy, and I've got IFSC route setter Chris Danielson alongside me. He was involved in setting all these boulders as we see Michaela again trying this completely different method now. It looks like she can get comfortable up on the top of that large black volume on the left, but she can't then move right. And unfortunately, if you can't move right, it's not much use. Got time for another go though.
Yeah, she spent probably 2 minutes up there, so now she's got to take a little rest and see if she can get back up there.
So Sierra, we saw her a minute ago, trying to figure out, and this is, it looks a completely different way of doing it. Sierra's best results so far, 12th in Chongqing.
Jorg's given a good brushing on the men's 1 again, got just under a minute.
Again, if you're just tuning in, Jorg's partner, Katja Zauwein.
That's the first
She's
good
not
look.
taking part today.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but the first good look we see of men's 4 with Daniel trying this slab. It's a tricky jump, tricky little pop.
Let's have a look at Jorg. He's so close. You'd have thought once you start to come back down, you'd have nailed it, but no. He doesn't fancy another go, and neither does Michaela Tracy. Let's have a look at Alex Kazanov, men's 3. Quick recap on the left of your screen there, Martin Stranik, the only man with 2 tops so far. Daniel Woods, he's got 6 seconds to climb a tricky slab. No. So here's Janae Kruder, another of the co-commentating crew. He was co-commentator in Chongqing. And Caroline Zinhuber of Austria is out on women's 1. Petra Klingler there, you can see in the red vest, she was extremely close on women's 1.
There's no question it's been a hard start for the first half of the field. We have the 10th climbers out now, and we've had, we've had 3 of the men's boulders topped, but only a few tops in total, and still yet to see a top in the women's.
So here's Caroline. Petra Klingler fired up this section as if she was walking up a path. Everyone else has found it quite difficult. How will Caroline get on? I do like those trousers. I wonder if they sell them in Vail. I might have to go shopping later. I think I could pull them off. So Caroline, sorry, she's already been in a final. She was 5th in Chongqing. Can the starry leggings power her to another? Not so far, it would seem.
Petra's pretty quickly up on number 2 here.
As you say, strong in the shoulders. That compact move you'd have thought would suit her. Let's have a look at Vera Zylstra, women's 3. came
Not a bad effort.
Not a million miles off that move. As we see in the background, Yane Kruder. He's not been in a final yet this year. And it'd be fair to say he's not very happy about that fact. Doing a pretty good job of rectifying it so far. There he goes. Just needs to bring it home. Looks like there's a bit of fatigue kicking in. Tantalizingly close. Last hold, there it is. Well, if you enjoyed his co-commentary in Chongqing, from what we've seen so far, I don't think we're going to have him for the final, because climbing like this, he could make it. So just straight up, two-hand match. Didn't control the swing of the right hand at all, and he's made a pretty good start to the semi-final. Here's Monica Recchi, women's 4. And over to the left, oh, I was about to say Vera Zylstra, almost sticking that move on women's 3. She's got one hand up, but not the other.
Sean McCall on the right side slab too.
Here he is.
Up high pretty quick.
Looking very promising. So now, get the left foot up, and then it's just a reach for the top. There it is. That's 2 tops from Sean, I believe. And what we've seen, that could well be enough. Yes, that's enough to put Sean provisional first. 2 tops in 6 attempts.
Okay, Petra's got the last hold. Now it's a matter of getting the right foot up.
Is the closest
She's
anyone?
take the finish hold. The question is, can she match? It's a hard match.
Petra Klingler, she was so close on women's 1.
Yeah, there it is.
Well, she smiles whether she makes it or not, but I think that's the biggest smile we've seen from her yet today. Delighted with that. First top in the women's competition on any boulder. Petra Klingler, great start to semi-final. Bonus on the first boulder, top on the second. Baptiste Omets, Petra's compatriot, spectacular fall-on, men's 2, as we see Caroline Zinhuber.
Caroline gets the bonus. She got 30 seconds left. It's enough time, but maybe not that try.
Got the right camera angle there, you saw her face.
I think we can see a top here from Monica.
Come on, Monica. Get that left foot up. Surely from here. Yes. She can't quite believe she's made that. If you're watching us in Mumbai, you'll remember in the fantastic final that day, Monica was 6th coming into the final boulder, ended up 2nd with a spectacular top, and she's the first woman to top women's 3 today. So the scores just need to be updated. Monica will be provisional first. So Charlotte Jurif of France, she's out on women's 1, and there's Stéphane Scarperi on men's 1. If you're wondering why we don't have many French athletes here, it's because the French selection policy for this event was that you needed to have made a podium, a World Cup podium. And that somewhat narrowed the field, so France with a very trimmed down team. Charlotte Jurif, she has not made a boulder podium before, so possibly self-funded. I'm not entirely sure, but the official French rule was that you had to have made a podium in order to have your expenses paid to come to Vail, which is why we're missing some of the better-known French climbers.
This could be a good problem for Michaela and also Charlotte on the first.
Here's Michaela, also very close on women's 1. Just seen that boulder topped by Petra Klingler. Michaela, he frustrated that.
Charlotte's case, I think if she can get through this first part, we might see her just on the wall for 3 minutes, but we might see her finish. She's really good at finding her way through positions. See Stacey Weldon getting the first jump on women's 4.
So it's another jump now, isn't it?
This one's much easier. It's just a matter of timing.
She's got that right. So it'll be the right hand will join the left on that orange hold.
We saw Monica fall one time on this, and I think it's tricky because you really have to get your right foot up to the small orange foothold. And Monica fell once trying to keep her left foot low where Stacey still had it. Let's see if she can give it another go.
The small foothold you're referring to is that tiny red blob below the bonus tab. Is that right?
That's right. That's right.
Here's Alex Kazanov in the foreground.
And Moritz getting into the drop knee.
So this move up here can be done statically, or you can jump as a sort of almost a double dyno, or you can go straight to the bonus.
We wondered if it's possible to hold that one-handed, as Jorg is trying to do on men's 2. Also hard.
So here's Charlotte Jurif, veteran lead climber. This is her first Boulder World Cup of 2016. Straight into the semi-finals.
I give Charlotte a really good chance if she can stand up here. It's really physical. Minute and a half left.
So she's nearly established. Yes. So nobody yet has nailed this move. Petra Klingler really close.
Taking a good rest here. There's no question Charlotte is good on her feet and good on crimps.
As we just mentioned, big, massively reduced French team for this event. Close from Charlotte. You needed to have appeared on a World Cup podium to make this French team for this event. Charlotte hasn't appeared on a Boulder World Cup podium, but she has appeared on a lead World Cup podium, so possibly that was enough.
So close for Moritz.
Under 20 seconds to go. Michaela Tracy still holding on number 2.
10 seconds left for Michaela. She's going to have to go really fast.
No, Michaela's closest the first time from the attempts we saw. So here's Gabriele Moroni. He's out on men's 1. Good to see him competing. Doesn't do all the World Cups, but he's a true all-rounder. Now, Martin Stranek appears there as in provisional lead. I'm pretty sure Sean McCall has 2 tops. We'll just wait for the scores to update. In the meantime, Berit Schweriger out on women's 1. You see Petra Klingler there on your left of your screen. She topped women's 2, came very close on women's 1. Looks in great form.
And Baptiste Ometz, the Swiss, really quickly to the bonus, even skipping the right hand. This is a bit different beta.
Certainly promising. Just trying to figure out what to do with his feet. Drop back down to set himself.
I think if he takes his time and trusts the method here to turn the right hand, he'll make the top.
Tried to go straight through with the left. Let's have a look at women's 4 here. Vera Zylstra.
People once again, people at home, everyone you know to be watching along with
Two Austrians out there, women's 1 and 2. Caroline Zinhuber on the right, Berit Schweger on the left. There's Caroline up to the bonus.
I think she's got to get her left foot out. The match is a little bit tricky.
Those trousers just get better with every viewing, I have to say. They are pretty special. Very 80s.
This looks really good. She can get her right foot up. She's got time though, 2.5 minutes.
Again, we've seen that a couple of times on that boulder. When people go for it, and might have been worth just spending that bit longer to set themselves. But I think, yeah, with 2 minutes to go, stands a good chance.
Little replay of Baptiste. He's got 2 minutes left. There's no question it's a hard round so far, at least from the route setting perspective. We're seeing a lot of climbers get high into the problems, but we haven't seen a lot of tops yet. We still have a little less than half of the field to come.
Worth bearing in mind, they do climb in reverse order, so obviously it's entirely theoretical, but theoretically the strongest climbers should be out last. Certainly the strongest climbers from the qualifying yesterday.
Vera Zylstra there, pretty close on women's 4, and there's enough time.
Okay, so we are going to have a change of co-commentator. Chris Danielson, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For
the pleasure.
The expert beater. Always good to have a route set and get your input in what you were thinking with the routes and how you envisage them working. So thank you very much. Appreciate your input.
Thank you. I'm going to go watch from the front, and hopefully we'll see some tops to come.
I hope so. And we're about to be joined, fresh in the wall, by Britain's Dave Barons. In the meantime, we'll watch Gabriele Moroni. He's making good progress. Men's 1. Now from here, everybody that's got to these holds has topped the boulder. Gabriele looks like he's going to do the same. He is. Dave Barons, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, welcome to the commentary booth. You've just come fresh off the boulders, so short of putting a microphone on you while you're climbing, this is about as live as commentary gets.
Yep.
How did you find them?
Oh, it's so hard. There's a lot of dynos out there. Well, we essentially had 4 dynos. And all on kind of really hard pinches, so you're squeezing the whole time, and it's pretty exhausting.
We haven't seen a lot of tops so far. You really, do you feel the altitude was playing a part today?
Maybe a little. It's always tough in Vail, and they've set really sustained problems as well.
Yeah, we certainly haven't seen a lot of climbers succeeding.
I think this is one of the hardest semi-finals I've ever been in.
And we were chatting yesterday. Remind me how many World Cups you've done? 68?
I think it's 67, 68, something around there.
I think when you've lost count, you know it's a lot. So this is our first glimpse of Melissa Lenev on women's 1. And Keita Watabe is out on men's 1. Men's 1, this jump, we've seen a few methods of doing it. Have you been able to watch any of the other climbers, or have you just...
No, I just missed Gabby doing it then, so I felt close, but you always do on dynos. So.
It seems most people have been trying to control the swing with the right hand, so they do the dyno and then use the right hand to stop the swing, which is what we saw you trying to do.
Yeah, it feels like you can almost stop on the bonus, and then just at the last minute, just take the pinch on above.
Just see
But-
Cater. Yeah.
yeah.
Trying it.
But he's going way too fast at the hold. You always need to stall on the bonus a little bit first.
What's the method of stalling? Is that just trying to control the hips? Is it core strength?
It's kind of core strength, so it's basically doing a front lever at 20 miles an hour or whatever. It's pretty brutal on the body.
Now Melissa Lenev on the left. Here she is, women's 1. We haven't seen the top of this boulder yet. You can see the scores on the left of your screen. They're not updating. We're having some slight technical issues, so ignore those screens. If you go onto the IFSC website or the app, I believe the scores are updating. Here's Melissa Lenev. Could be about to see the
Can
first
she
top.
match it? This looks really uncomfortable.
Petra Klinger got nearly this
She's in,
close.
Yep.
There's Melissa. Never won a World Cup. Pretty good start to this semi-final. So there's Michaela Tracy on women's 3. You know Michaela quite well. She's been close to a final this year.
Yeah.
How's she been climbing the lead up to this event?
Same as always. Always strong. Always really good on crimps. Will always fight as hard as anybody. So there's definitely no lack of effort on her part.
As I say, she's had 2 top 10 finishes this year without making a final. And there's Stefan Scarperi on men's 2. We haven't seen much of him so far. Keita Watabe not having much joy with men's 1. Men's 2 there, we'll come back to that as we see men's 3. Possible top here. Jorg Verhoeven.
Yeah.
Yes, there he is. 007,
Yeah.
the coolest of all the numbers.
Yeah, the start of men's 3 is really uncomfortable. You're in just such an awkward position, and you just have to spring out of it and kind of catch the bonus hold and this little slot crimp around the side, which is really hard to hit.
So if you're just joining us, we're live in Vail in Colorado in the United States. I was joined by Chris Danielson. If you're wondering why he's developed a northern English accent, it's because he's been substituted for Dave Barons, who's just finished climbing on these boulders. So thanks to Chris, we had some fascinating technical input, and now we've got some pretty much live input from Dave, who just about had time for a drink and a towel off, and now he's in the commentary booth having tried the boulders. And Chris has retired to do some high quality sunbathing.
I'm definitely not qualified to do high quality sunbathing.
Now I'm from the north of England, I feel your pain.
I got quite cooked yesterday, so.
You can spot all the English people in Vail, they're the bright red ones. So here's Miho Nanaka. She's out. We have the not quite correct scores. Sean McCall is actually in the provisional lead. Score's not updating right.
Yeah, Sean did the last slab. I don't know how many goes, but
And again, don't ignore those scores. Petra Klingler has certainly had a top, as has Monica Recci. Rustam Gelmanov there, men's 1. You think this is a bowler that'll suit him?
I think if he sticks to dyno, he'll have no issue with the top at all. There's like some pretty small crimps up there.
We know Rustam likes small crimps. So as you say, once he hits that bonus, you'd imagine he'd be home and hosed. Yeah. And I think we could be about to see a top on women's 2. So Dave, I've been told to ask you about your World Cup number.
I World Cup, my number of World Cups, or?
Yes, your number of World Cups. 67, 68 we said?
Yeah, I think Crange in November was my 65th.
Fantastic. Here's Miho. Look at women's 1. The scoring permutations on the overall women's competition, by the way, are extremely complicated. So we won't go just yet. We'll hang on till Shauna gets out, and then we'll have a go at outlining some of the possibilities of who can win and how. In the meantime,
I think if Shauna makes finals, then she's won the overall.
well, I understand if she makes podium, she wins the overall.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Maybe it was both finals.
I think that was it. Both finals or a podium here. My brain was cooked.
Yeah.
Thinking about it. Here's Petra Klingler. If she can top this with the relatively small number of tops we've had today, you'd have thought she has an extremely good chance of making the final. She can top it. Never really. I was about to say never looked in doubt, and then her left hand nearly slipped off. Stefan Scarperi on men's 2, taking matters into his own hands. Sorry, Gabriel Moroni.
Gabby.
So Rustam Gomanov, we said if he could stick this first move, he should bring it home, but he's so far not done the bonus move. He's just struggling to control that swing, isn't it? We mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, for me, I had to guppy the left-hand side a little bit, and I felt closer that way, but I think everyone that's done it has just gone 2 thumbs in the middle.
It's a hole quite easy to read. I mean, when you get hold of it, do you instantly figure out where the best bit is, or did you find that every time you did it, you discovered a bit more?
It's actually totally blind. You can't see the hole at all from underneath. Obviously, you can look from the ground, you can see kind of the point of the volume, so you know you need to hit that bit, but you can't actually see the part of the hole you're jumping to.
And can you feel it as you get there? Do you feel, okay, next time I need to go a bit further left? Or is it quite uniform?
It's fairly even. I think it's just a case of being strong enough to squeeze down and kind of engage kind of through your back and stop the swing.
So it's not a huge amount of precision, it's more just stopping the swing.
Just a bit of luck, I think.
Bit of honesty there. Here's your Ney Kruder. 30 seconds to go, men's 3.
We're really struggling with the start of this journey.
You said the start of this is a really uncomfortable one.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that specifically?
So the feet are all in the wrong places, and you're kind of fighting your body the whole time. You can't really get comfortable. And the starting foot is really high as well.
So getting off the mat is actually not a pushover.
So if you're quite tall like Yone, you won't fit in there very well.
Okay, we're still having some technical issues with the scores. Don't forget you can go on the app or the IFSC website for the updated scores. So just ignore those ones that appeared on your screen. This is Kyra Condi, women's 1.
Yeah, she climbed really well yesterday.
She did, yeah. Qualified 6th. And we see him just attempting the dino there. Yoshiyuki Ogata, men's 1. Next to his compatriot, Keita Watabe. So here's Kyra. Kyra. We'll go with Kyra.
Kyra, I believe.
You can see in the background there the Vail gondola. Real mountain town Vail. Certainly feels it when you try and go for a run at nearly 3,000 metres. Made it to the end of the road before I headed back.
Before you cough up a lung.
Yeah, exactly. Still recovering, only ran about 300 metres.
It's got Stefan Scarperi on 3. He likes to crimp.
Hopefully we'll pan over to him. In the meantime, here's Melissa Lenev. She topped number 1. Now this has been a fascinating boulder to watch, women's 2. It's so many different ways of doing it. Chris Danielson, IFSC route setter, who was here for the first 45 minutes or an hour or so of this semi-final seemed to think there were 3 ways of doing it. But Sierra Blair Coyle nearly pulled off a completely different way. That is one of the methods. Get that right foot on the volume like Melissa is. But matching is not that easy on this top hold. Just needs to take her time.
Oh.
That is about as close as you can get to topping a boulder without topping it. Melissa, 2 minutes 40 left. You thought plenty of time for another go.
Yeah, the route setters have definitely gone really uncomfortable with the body positions.
And Yoshiyuki Ogata qualified 6th. And the only climber so far to have got past the bonus and not topped the boulder.
I think he had his hand wrong. I think he needed his right hand on the high crimp. And he'd go off the kind of undercut sloper to the finishing hold.
So if he's to top the boulder, he's going to be the only climber so far to have done the move to the bonus successfully twice. Michaela Tracy there. Getting a bit frustrated. Here's Jorg Verhoeven, men's 4. We haven't seen much of men's 4.
There's not a lot to see on it.
It's could best be described as sparse. So here's Kyra, women's 1. Making that move out left. As a mountain biker goes past in the background. And Yoshiyuki, he has stuck the move
that dyno
twice.
so easily. The Japanese team is so good on dynos.
Yes, makes it work. Interesting, he's the only climber that's topped the boulder that has seemed to struggle with the top half of it. Everyone else has, well, they haven't cruised it, but they've not had too much trouble. Yoshiyuki made it work, but he had to fight. Here's Melissa Lenev pulling back on, tantalisingly close on her last attempt. Had a good long rest. And she's got time to set herself. Not much time though, 20 seconds. So Chris Danielson, the route setter, who we had commentating earlier, he seemed to think going with the left hand followed by the right foot is the best way, but Melissa not following that beater. Make it work.
Still in the nick of time.
And not a million miles away from landing on your compatriot Ty Landman there. She fell off the top of the boulder. So Melissa topped both of the first 2 boulders. Quite a statement from her. As you see Yoshiyuki Ogata topping out.
See how Ty copes with this dyno.
You think this will be a boulder he'll get on with?
It's hard to say with dynos. Like, he's normally pretty good at them.
Try and avoid making predictions because
Yeah.
they're always
Commentator's curse.
completely wrong. I seem to have a very strong case of commentator's curse, so I tend to keep quiet, but Ty Landman I'd have thought might get on with that. On the left there, Akira Noguchi, the familiar figure. And here's her compatriot, Miho Nanaka. We've just seen Melissa Lenev top this boulder. Miho, so far, looking very solid. Just about held the top, Miho. until that final move, she cruised up that boulder. She heads in with 3 minutes left on the round, job done. The crowd just beginning to build here in Vail. Normally have a huge crowd for the finals. See the two Austrians on the left of the screen there. Barrett on the left, Caroline on the right.
See,
Just trying to figure out this move left.
it looks like a really big move. Like,
Here's a big move. They go with the left hand, yeah, to that little
Okay.
blue bolt on, and then they're trying to
Yeah.
match with the undercling with the right hand. Kinaguchi here, women's 1.
Ty Ladman for men's 1.
No, not getting on with that first move.
See if Akio can finish this off.
She's getting pretty close. How's that for being relaxed? Shaking out.
It looked like you've gotten to put a hold on here.
This looks promising for Akio, but this move right is desperate. You see it there. Really good boulder, that one, because
Yeah, the
It's a
feet, the foot on that move is really bad.
yeah,
So,
it's a physical start. It's compressed, hard on the shoulders, and then you move up to a technical, slabby climb with poor feet. "25 seconds left on the round."
see if Gabby can stick this move on men's 3.
So that moved up towards the bonus. We didn't see you attempting that. Talk us through how you got on with men's 3.
Now it's gone. I basically got the 2 crimps on the shoulder, and I was trying to rock fairly static to the one on the side of the black volume. But I think you just have to spring out of the shoulders and catch the bonus volume, and then catch the crimp on the way.
The reading we had of it from Chris was that you can do it dynamically. The way you've described it, he thinks it's the best way, but he said if people are super strong, they might try and do it statically. Be interesting to see as we get more climbers attempting it. So there's Anna Sturr. Just walked off screen, back in. Thank you, Anna. She's on women's 1, and on men's 1, it's Kokoro Fuji. Already won a World Cup this year, serious contender. Kyra Condi, women's 2. Not too much trouble up to the bonus.
See how she copes with this shoulder move.
So, having watched quite a few climbers do it, I'm pretty sure the best way is to get that black hole with the left hand. You can see on the top of your screen, and then move your feet up. Yes. Now she can get her feet
She's
sorted.
finishing
You'd have thought she got a pretty good chance from. There we go. Commentator's curse. Sorry, sorry, Kyra.
Yeah, all these blue volumes don't have a lot of friction on them.
We have got some low friction holds being used today. It's quite hard to make them out on screen.
I'm not quite sure what happened there.
No, I'd like to see a replay of that. The end result was that Kokoro Fuji is powering his way up men's 1. Past the bonus. Wouldn't have thought he'd drop it from here. No.
So strong.
You can see his power as he moves out right there, just nice and controlled. Let's have another look at that. There we go.
I think Stefan has just top men's 4, I think.
So Kokoro lunges, controls the swing, and puts his hand back on the bonus hold. Chris did mention that as a possible method. Kokoro make it work. Here's his compatriot, Yoshiyuki Agata. Men's 2. Oh, so close, you probably heard the crowd telling the story for you there. Not been in a final yet this year, Yoshiyuki. There's Anna Stor. There's a profile of Anna Stor, made in conjunction with DJI. It's on the IFSC Facebook page. 5-minute profile, shot just before the Innsbruck World Cup. Go and check that out. As we watch Yoshiyuki again. He was close.
Really close.
Second to last hold.
All the holds on that problem are basically the same size pinch, so you just get more and more tired.
We've already talked about altitude quite a bit today. Could be a boulder where it really plays a part because endurance begins to come into it, as you say, when all the holds are so uniform. Melissa Lenev. None of the women have got close to women's 3, but she's climbed superbly so far today. Yoshiyuki again.
See if we can do it this time.
Second to last hold. Goes to the left hand and the right. No wonder he's a happy man. Great climbing. So you can see Miho Nanaka there on the left. Women's 3. Let's just watch a quick replay. Yoshiyuki Agata. Much more solid that time. Never really looked in doubt.
I think he got a bit excited the first time. So.
You've climbed in, well, even you can't remember how many World Cups, 67, 68 World Cups. Do you find now that it's just natural to control yourself, or do you still find yourself getting overexcited?
I think you still get excited,
things?
Yeah. Some days you're really calm, and other days you just get a bit too excited and think, oh, I've done it, and that's it, then you're off.
Is there any way you found of controlling that? Do you do any mental preparation, or is it often just how you feel when you wake up in the morning?
I have a bit of a mental preparation. I'll kind of sit on my own for a bit and try and get into a balanced state of being calm and kind of being kind of psyched up at the same time. It's a very strange state for me of being angry but calm at the same time.
Is Rustam Germanov,
No.
men's 3?
No problems with that.
Rus and his fellow Russian Alexei Rubtsov not having too many troubles with men's 1. I believe this is his second attempt. Certainly not his first. Pretty sure it's his second. And you would have thought from here. Yes. Alexei won first time out in Meiringen this year. Big statement from him already. Big statement possibly about to come hit. Is one move away from Makia Noguchi. There she is. That top's stumped a few climbers, but Makia looked very calm there. Plenty of experience and 4 overall Boulder World Cup wins.
Megan Mascarenas at the top of Boulder 1.
Good to see her compete again. She hasn't done all the World Cups. I believe she will next year.
Yeah, I think she's been finishing school, so.
Doesn't it make you feel old? Finish school and then I'll go back to winning World Cups. So she's just trying to figure out this move rightwards. Michaela Tracy got on top of this black volume that Megan's hugging. It didn't work for her, but it had potential. So the feet on this boulder, as you see them, are pretty terrible. So 2 minutes left on this round. Women's 4 proving difficult boulder, as is men's 4. Gabriele Mironi. Very calm way of doing it.
I think that is the method. You have to stand up and catch a toe hook at the same time as catching the crimp.
That's certainly what Chris, our route setter, seems to suggest.
This time.
See him in the background, but we're focusing on Ty Lambert.
Ty looking so strong there. Go on, Ty.
Who needs your feet, hey?
Sidewall, Ty.
We're actually very close to the wall here. I think if you shout a bit louder, he might hear you.
Always a lot of support for Tyler.
Very popular climber. Set move left, he didn't like. Here's Gabriele Mironi, men's 4. Get the left foot up, he'll rock onto it. Yeah. Should be done, he is.
A happy man.
Rightly so. We'll just wait for the scores update and we'll tell you exactly how many tops Gabriele had. I believe he's had 2. And we'll just wait for confirmation.
Yeah, up to 4th.
Yes, that top takes Gabriele Mironi up to provisional 4th. Megan tops number 1. Now, this is interesting. Number 47, the left of your screen, none other than Alex Puccio. We haven't seen her in a World Cup this year. She looked incredibly strong in yesterday's qualifiers. Great to have her back. Also had a quick chat with her. You can see that interview on the IFSC Facebook page.
Yeah, it's a year since she tore her ACL.
I was chatting to her in the process of filming the interview, and she said she tore the ACL, broke the meniscus, and also blew out. Oh, it's really testing my knowledge of the knee.
Yeah. I'm going to leave you to it.
I realised halfway through I didn't actually know the technical terms, but she blew her ACL and 2 other parts of the knee. So it was a pretty bad injury. But she's back, and as I say, yesterday looked in supreme form. Make no mistake, we haven't seen her yet this year, but she can win this event.
Anna Stoll looking really solid.
She is looking very solid. This top move though is no pushover. You've got to get yourself set, and she does. The patella, that was the word I was looking for. She damaged her ACL and her patella.
What would we do without Google?
I don't know what you're talking about. Here's Alex Puccio, as I say, looked great qualifying yesterday and making so far quite light work of women's one. As you'll know if you've been watching the whole of this semi-final, this boulder is not done until it's done. This move right has stopped several strong climbers. Alex just figuring out how to do it in balance.
Yeah, a good view of how bad those holds are from there.
They are pretty terrible holds. If anything, they're more use than the footholds though.
She goes.
One hand. What a statement this would be. Great work from Alex Puccio. Composed, been out of the World Cups for a year, but she took her time, set herself,
Yeah,
made
she
sure
set
she
her
was in
foot
balance.
really well.
It's Melissa Lenev, you can see there on women's 4. Just trying to make that jump work. That was Tomoe Narasaki, current overall leader in this Boulder World Cup season. Not having too much trouble with men's one. Yoshiyuki Agata looking for a top on men's 3. No.
Everyone else has gone right hand to that hold.
That looked at an awkward method of doing it, but he nearly made it work. Let's have a watch of him going for the bonus. Dynamic or static? Static, then dynamic.
Yeah, a little 1-2.
I looked at a nice method as we see him repeat
He's
it.
back up there again.
And also we've got Melissa Lenev. No, she's not getting on with that move left. Here's Kokoro Fuji, had no trouble with men's 1. It doesn't look like he had much trouble with men's 2 either. No. Just to recap, actually, I mentioned Tomoe Narasaki is leading in the current overall standings. He's followed by Kokoro Fuji. Alexei Rubtsov is in 3rd, then Jungwon Chon, Rustam Gomanov is 5th, and Sean McCall, who hasn't really hit top form this year, is 6th. So Sean McCall climbing consistently, and he's 6th overall. Tomoe Narasaki narrowly leading the way in the overall standings ahead of Kokoro Fuji. He's got a 9-point lead. Speaking of a lead in the overall standings, we just got a glimpse there of Shauna Coxey.
MBE announced this morning.
Shauna Cox at MBE, I should say. For the non-British viewers, that is a member of the British Empire?
I looked this up this morning. It's a member of the excellent people of the British Empire, I think. It sounds like something out of Bill and Ted. It's great.
Just to confirm, I actually thought you were joking.
Yeah. Most excellent order of the British Empire.
Most excellent order of the British Empire. It's part of the honours system in Britain. Shauna Cox has been awarded an MBE. Makes her a most excellent order of the British Empire. Oh, that's fantastic. Fantastic acronym. As we watch her now, Shauna Coxey, our first look at her today. Pretty much dominated this season so far. The maths is complicated, but the simple version is this. Fresh from the mouth of an IFSC judge, if Shauna makes the podium, she will win, makes the podium today, she will win the overall competition. Beyond that, once we get down to, well, if Miho Nanaka gets second, it gets very complicated. So basically it's in Shauna's hands. She's on the podium, she wins. As you see in the background,
I think Tyler Ladman, has just topped men's 3, I think.
and Megan Mascarenas has topped women's 2.
No, dropped the last move, sorry, cursed him.
He's about 10 metres away from his Tyler Lamb, he probably hear you. Sorry, Ty. Here's Shauna. As I say, the permutations and the maths are extremely complicated, but it's in her hands. A podium today will see her win the overall title. Great camera angle there. Not that time.
Right, she wasn't quite trusting that foot enough. Which is easy for me to say.
We had a quick look there, just as we panned across Sakura Noguchi having one of the better attempts on women's 3. None of the women have really been close to topping that boulder yet. Here's Rustam Gomanov. Great work, men's 4. That puts Rustam joint first provisionally. That top on men's 4.
So it's looking like you're going to need 2 tops quickly, I think, to make the final in the men.
Yeah, Gabriele Moroni is provisional 7th, so he won't make the final, and he has 2 tops. So it's going to, I think, 2 tops and not many attempts could be enough for the final.
Could be. We've got 3 tied for the final, tied in first place. Sorry.
Yeah, currently tied in first place. Kokoro Fuji, Rustam Gomanov and Sean McCall, they all have 2 tops in 6 attempts. No male climber yet has 3 tops.
Goes Ty.
Ty Lambam, that's men's 3. He leads with the left hand.
There we are.
Makes it work. It's his first top. Here's Miho Nanaka, women's 4. Top out relatively straightforward. There she is.
People, this is just a warm-up for later on tonight. Once again, make sure you are ready to go.
5 seconds until we get our climbers back out. There we are. Kokoro Fuji jumped the gun a bit. There's Alex Puccio. No trouble on women's 1. Shauna Coxey didn't do
top that.
women's boulder 1, just to confirm. There's Anna Stöhr on the left of Austria, women's 3. None of the female climbers have got anywhere near this boulder so far. Chris Danielson, IFSC route setter, thought that the move up to the bonus was possibly the hardest single move in the women's competition. It's certainly looking that way.
Let's see if Anna's got the power.
She was the star of the show last week in Innsbruck. She didn't win, but the crowd were going wild for it. Not got that home support today.
No.
This woman has though, Alex Puccio. Very popular. As I say, when we were filming with her yesterday, the hard bit is keeping her long enough in between people trying to take photos with her and autographs. She is a really popular climber in this part of the world. Lived in Boulder, Colorado for many years.
I think she reached 100,000 followers on Instagram this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Saw Kokoro Fuji there getting pretty close on men's 3. Yeah, here's Alex. She of 100,000 followers. Recently moved to Salt Lake City in Utah. But yeah, very much a Colorado girl. Lived here for long, long time. Let's have a look. Yoshiyuki Agata not getting on with men's four so far. Once you've established yourself on the bonus hold on that boulder, you should be pretty close to done. The top out, relatively easy. All things are relative though. So see Anna Stor on the right there, going up for this desperate move, women's three. She'll go with the right hand, there it is. This is one of the closer attempts we've seen.
That's great body tension.
Fantastic how she stuck that. Couldn't get the left hand to join it. So Alex Puccio pulls back on.
Commentator winding up the crowd here.
I hope you can hear him in the background, getting the crowd right behind Alex. And Kyra Condi, who off screen is on women's four. She just dropped off women's four. We can focus on Alex Puccio. Alex Puccio, 2 boulders, 2 tops. She doesn't look like a woman who's been out injured for a year with a damaged meniscus, patella and ACL.
I think she was training pretty hard quite soon after.
The one good thing for a climber is if you damage your knee, you can still do pull-ups.
Yep.
And I think Alex has been doing a fair few.
And with the added weight of a brace, then...
weight training by default. So here's Yoshiyuki, heading for the top of men's four. Yes, he is. So Yoshiyuki Agata is now provisional first.
Wow, 3
in
and
this
19.
semi-final.
Good effort.
3 tops, 19 attempts. The only man with 3 tops so far. But that man right there, Kokoro Fuji, could join him if he tops men's 4. He hasn't done men's 3. Russia's earning their cash there. Just having some issues with our on-screen graphics. Just ignore those. You can follow the updated scores on the IFSC app or also on the IFSC website. There's Shauna Coxley, left of your screen. She didn't do women's 1. Out onto women's 2. Just to give you some idea, our current leader in this women's semi-final is Miho Nanaka. She's got 3 tops. She's the only woman with 3 tops. Melissa Leneve, Megan Mascarenas, Petra Klingler and Alex Puccio all so far have 2 tops. And they make up the rest of the top 5, and Anna Stoa, provisional 6th, has 1 top. So with a lot of climbing still to go, 2 tops, I would have said, unlikely to be enough in the women's event. It will come down to attempts. Here goes Shauna.
There's a different method.
Shauna's got that climbing style where she never really looks like she's trying very hard.
No.
You see it here. Very calm and collected. But considering the calibre of climbers that boulder has stopped, the fact that Shauna Coxey cruised up it just shows how well she's climbing this year. No trouble there. She's on the board with her first top of this semi-final. As we watch Alexei Rubtsov, feet cut off, but he holds it. Went with the left hand again.
Again, got excited, I think.
From the ground and also from what the route setters say, going with the right hand might be better.
Yeah.
Let's watch how he did this
He's
move.
doing this move static. Oh, nearly static.
So static start and then a little dynamic jump, a little 1-2 as you said earlier. Ty Landman, we see him on
See how tight it
men's
is?
4.
Just not quite getting the toe hook in the right place. Needs to be around the left-hand side of the volume.
Looking at the men's provisional results, I think 2 tops with not many attempts could be enough. So depending on how many attempts Ty's used up, could sneak in.
I think he's had quite a lot of goes on this already.
I think he has. We'll wait till the scores update before we confirm that, but I suspect he's had too many. There's Jungwon Chon. We haven't seen much of him yet on men's 2.
Didn't do the first boulder.
No, he didn't get the bonus. Qualified first.
See if Alexi can stick the move this time.
Will he go with the left hand again?
I think he's going to.
I think he is. Yes. Twice we saw the strength of Alexi's left shoulder on that first move and then also on the top out. Very solid climb from Alexi. There's Akina just figuring out women's 4. Currently in provisional 6th, Akio. I don't think she'll have done enough. She needs this.
I think she'll need to do this.
She will need to do it. She's currently got 1 top. That was a flash. But I suspect you'll need 2 tops to get into the final, almost certainly. So she needs this one. Jungwon Chon also needs to get on the board. That was a different method of doing men's 2. See Akina there. So she'll lead with her left hand onto the tiny bolt on hold. There it is. No.
Oh, Ty's racing the clock.
Ty Landman, he's got time to top
5
this.
seconds. Well done, Ty. Just in time. Nice work from Ty.
As we speculated earlier, I think he's used up too many attempts. Just wait for the scores to update. Yes, he has.
To win 19. Wow.
So 2 tops, 19 attempts. You were quite right. He had used up a lot of attempts. That's enough to put in provisional 9th. So Ty Landman, he won't be making the final, but 2 tops in such a hard field. Impressive climbing.
Alex Puccio up on women's 3.
Alex Puccio has climbed fantastically in qualifying, and she's carried that form in today's semi-final. She's a real contender to win this event. She'll also be climbing at the World Championships in Paris in September. So it's not the only chance we'll get to see her this year. And I believe she'll be back for the full competition circuit next year. And if she climbs like this, she's going to provide some real competition. Tomoe Naraseki. That top move stopped a few of the climbers. Stopped Alexi Rubtsov last. I think he'll get that though.
It's a sloping volume with a thumb catch underneath it.
Now then, no woman so far has come close to women's 3. Alex Puccio, despite being on superb form, not getting too close just yet. But plenty of time left. So Anna Stor, this is a jump, you just got to get the timing right. Just like that.
Always good at dynos, Anna.
Could be on for a top here, Anna Storr. She needs to get that undercling. There it is. And the top out,
Stay calm.
relatively okay. Yes. 122 Boulder World Cups, Anna Storr. No trouble keeping her cool there.
Plenty of time, 2 minutes 35 seconds.
So Anna Storr, that puts her provisional
second.
Yeah, provisional second. She's great to have Anna in the finals. A legend of the sport. It's always good to have her at the business end of the competitions. And in provisional second, she's made a good start here to today's competition in Vail. That was Kokoro Fuji topping men's 4. That's enough to put him provisional first. So here's Alex Puccio. None of the women have made any real progress on this women's 3. Can Alex make a breakthrough? Dave, when you're backstage, are you aware normally of which boulders have been climbed? Do you tend to chat to the climbers, or you just prefer to stay in your own little bubble?
We're not really meant to chat with each other, but you can generally get a feeling of what's happening by the reaction of the crowd, and how quickly people come back as well.
How strictly is it enforced, the chatting? Because we talked to a couple of climbers. There's clearly some element of communication between the climbers backstage.
I think it depends on the organisers and who's back there and how strict they're being with it. But I think most people won't give anything away.
Yeah.
It's not in your best interest. So.
You can hear a big cheer in the background. That is the crowd cheering on Alex Puccio. Here she goes.
This will be her last go, I think.
I'm pretty sure it will. And this, I think, is the furthest anyone's got. Oh, sorry, I was confusing the holds. No. So I thought she had the large volume. She's going for another go. There's a woman who's had a
bit of training.
year. That's the frustration of the last year coming out. She wants this. It looks climbable, that boulder, but just possibly needs a bit more work than you have in 5 minutes.
Let's see what Shauna Coxey makes of it.
Here she is now. We'll soon find out.
Ambling out. Yeah. Slow style.
Never looks too stressed. So here's Shauna. She's won 4 out of the 5 World Cups so far this season. And if she's on the podium later today in Vail, she will win the overall World Cup title. Megan Mascarenas just to her right. There's Jungwon Chon.
Did that move easily.
Not had a top yet, Jungwon Chon.
Oh.
Still doesn't. Looked like the foot just gave way as he went for that. Here's Shauna, women's 3. Same as the other climbers who've attempted that move. As I say, Shauna got to get on the podium today if she wants to secure the overall Boulder World Cup title today. After Innsbruck, I believe there were some people saying she was already the champion. That is not the case.
No, not quite.
Not quite. As we've seen with Alex Puccio, injuries happen. Katja Zauwein missed today's semi-final because she injured herself fully up Boulder 5. So it's not in the bag until it's in the bag. So yes, if you saw on social media that Shauna is the overall champion, that's not correct. She's just pretty close. can secure it today.
This is the way Anna tried it. It looks like as you catch the volume, you're going to have to kick your foot onto the volume underneath.
That was the beat of the route setters gave when I was checking the routes out earlier, but nobody yet has got that far up it that we've been able to say that.
It's a move they normally use for the men, but as Alexi tucks the slab.
Just quickly explain that. When you say a move they usually use for the men, you mean where you reach for a hold and you have to simultaneously
at the
catch
same
your
time,
foot.
either catch a foot or put a foot out onto a volume to stop the swing.
There's Megan. So again, 2 minutes to go.
Megan looked pretty tired there. She'll rest up for the next minute and then have another go.
Provisional third, Megan.
Showing her back on.
If Megan can top this women's 4, she'll nail down her place in the final. Here's Jungwon Chon. Need to top here. No. Depending on the number of attempts he's already used up, I think Jungwon Chon could already be out of this final. In current 6th place is Tomoe Narasaki. He's got 2 tops with 8 attempts. Jungwon Chon's had quite a few attempts on this men's 3.
I think he'd definitely need to flash men's 4, I think, to be in with a chance.
Be interesting when the round finishes and the scores update. We'll be able to tell you exactly how many attempts he did take.
Oh.
Shauna getting marginally closer every time with that as we watch Megan Mascarenas.
She's going to have another go.
Looking to cement her place in the final. As I say, currently provisionally 3rd.
So I think Shauna needs to do women's 4, doesn't she, to get in?
She does. Here's Jungwon Chon. So close from Jungwon Chon. No, he won't do it,
no,
so...
No final for Jungwon.
No final for last year's overall World Cup champion. Back out, Alex Puccio and Tomoe Narasaki. Miho Nanaka, the only female climber so far with 3 tops. If Alex Puccio can top this boulder, it would be quite the statement. Tomoe Narasaki's provisional 6th. The top here would ensure he's in the final. So the men's final, I believe, is complete now. Only Tomoe Narasaki, who's currently on screen, and Jungwon Chon to come. Jungwon Chon can't qualify.
Nope.
So Tomoe Narasaki, he will be in the final either way. Currently 6th. All he can do is alter the order he appears, or the number he appears in the final. But he will be there.
So it's looking like 3 Japanese in the final.
It is, yes.
Wow.
Yoshiyuki Gata, Kokoro Fuji and Tomoe Narasaki will all be in the final.
Saki's up.
So Tomoe, as we've just said, is already in the final. Let's see how many attempts that took him. But he's had 3 tops.
Could put him.
I think that will
be top.
We've seen the number of
Second
attempts.
or 3rd, I think.
We've seen the number of attempts. There we go, 3rd. Yes. There's Alex Puccio. Things getting tense at the final slot in the women's final. We'll discuss the math in 1 second. We'll just finish watching it. So she needs to get her right hand onto the orange volume. There it is. Then she'll lead with the left hand. That tiny blue vault on. There it is. Undercling with the right hand. Gets it. Well, we haven't seen any of the women slip off at that stage. Or, yeah.
I think that was too much power, I think.
And then we have the updated results appearing on your screen. So, just to confirm, we still have one climber to come on men's 4. That's Jongwon Chon, but he can't make the final. The men's final will be Alexei Rubtsov, Kokoro Fuji, Tomoa Narasaki, Yoshiyuki Agata, Rustam Gormanov, and Sean McCall. 2 Russians, 3 Japanese, 1 Canadian. No one from Team USA in the men's event. Daniel Woods, who we saw more towards the start of the round, finished up down in 14th. Here's Alex Puccio, just getting the crowd going. They don't need any encouragement when she's climbing. So she's got this quite tricky jump right, yeah. It's no gimme, that move right. You can see the hold there. It's quite a specific place you have to grab it.
Yeah, it's a really good hold, but you need to, again, plant the feet at the same time.
Makes it work that time. Sticks the first jump. So,
Just gotta fight with this orange volume for a bit.
now this move, she looking like fatigue kicking in. She made this move quite easily earlier. She slipped off the undercling. Holds it this time. Alex Puccio's in the final. A year off. Cruises into the final. Only the second woman today with 3 tops.
Second place, I believe.
Depending on the number of attempts, I'm pretty sure it will be. And then we have the confirmed results. Alexei Rubtsov, Kokoro Fuji, Tomoa Narasaki, Yoshiyuki Agata, Rustam Gelmanov, and Sean McCall will be the 6th finalists. Martin Stranik narrowly misses out. So the score's just updated. Miho Nanaka leading the way, Alex Puccio in 2nd. She'll be in the final. Anna Stohr provisional 3rd, Megan Mascarenas, Melissa Lenev, Petra Klingler making up the current top 6. So Shauna Coxey needs to do this final boulder in 3 attempts or less.
No, 2 attempts.
2 attempts, yes. Petra Klingler got all 4 bonuses, and Shauna has 2 bonuses so far. So the only way Shauna Coxey can qualify for this final is by doing women's 4 in 1 or 2 attempts. She's been put under pressure at times this season. It has to be said, not very often. Generally had things her own way. If you watch the final in Chongqing, you'll remember when she came out and did what she had to do to secure the win, same in Innsbruck. So pressure doesn't seem to bother her too much, but there's certainly some here. Shauna Coxey is in provisional 8th in this semi-final.
In the semi-finals in Innsbruck, she knew she had to flash the last boulder. So there's 1 go gone. Come on, Shauna.
I wonder if she knows, she probably knows she needs a top here. I wonder if she knows the specifics about the number of attempts. Because when Shauna Coxey pulls on now, it is do or die. She either makes it and thereby makes the final, or she doesn't, and she doesn't make the final.
Come on, Shauna.
High tension into this women's semi-final. We're focusing on Shauna. Over to the right is Jongwon Chon. He can't make the final, so we'll stick with Shauna. She's just trying to figure out this move. Match with the right hand. Nah. And she'll lead with the left.
Come on, Shauna.
What can you say about Shauna Coxey 2016? Chongqing, she needed to flash the last boulder to win the event. Innsbruck, she needed to flash the last boulder in the semi-final to qualify. And today she needed the last boulder in 2 attempts. All 3 times she's delivered under pressure.
I think she likes to make Great Britain sweat, I think.
I'm sure there's a few people watching us back in the UK that thought we were going to have an upset there, but no, Shauna Coxey, as in Chongqing, as in Innsbruck, reacts to the pressure. So just to confirm, today's men's final will be Alexei Rubtsov, Kokoro Fuji, Tomoa Narasaki, Yoshiyuki Ogata, Rustam Gomanov and Sean McCall. Marcin Stranek and Keita Watabe narrowly miss out. And then the women's event, Miho Nanaka and Alex Puccio, 3 tops each. Anna Stohr, Megan Mascarenas, Melissa Lenev and Shauna Coxey, by the skin of her teeth, will join them in the final. So thank you very much, Dave Barons, and thank you for Chris Danielson, who joined us earlier. We will see you at 4:30 Vail time for the final. It is going to be a stunner. We'll see you then.